Regrets suck. I read that the biggest regrets that we have in life aren't the things that we did, rather the things that we didn't do. Right? Sometimes we didn't take that job offer, or we didn't start that new hobby that always intrigued us. We never asked out that person who, for whatever reason, was just different from everybody else to us. But what's wild to me is I think our biggest regrets are actually the ones we haven't realized we've made, right? Like, from my perspective, I fear regrets because I don't want to make mistakes in my life. And I think everybody feels that way. You don't want to hurt anybody. You don't want to break your promises. You don't want to be seen as a failure. I cherish keeping my word. So when I fail to live up to it, it becomes another scar on my heart for me to dwell on in the years to follow, right? It's a little dramatic, I know, because for me, every mistake, every regret is another chance for people to see me as an idiot fumbling from one mistake to another. And I know that's not what people think of me. I know that. But it's how I feel about myself sometimes, my day-to-day decision making. And granted, I don't think about it all the time, but it was the pervasive manner in which I saw myself for years. All right? So it creeps up every once in a while. Every once in a while, I'll start doubting myself substantially, and I've gotten better at recognizing it, but still, it's a thing. It's a thing that I deal with as a person. The way I like to look at life, because of that, is like on my deathbed, I want to be able to look back on my life and say, I have no regrets about how I lived my life, right? None. And that right there really guides me. It really guides me. My life with my IT job it just was unsatisfying in every way. Right? I had a complete lack of connection to my work. I had a lack of purpose with it. And I knew that the future that job led to, it wasn't going to justify the years that I'd sink into it. Right? So I knew I had to quit, and eventually I did. And I'm thankful for that. God handled all of that for me. So here I am now, living a life that, it still makes me laugh. Every once in a while when I'm walking up to Vanessa to, go to wherever it is that I'm about to head to, I'll laugh to myself because I'm like, dang, I live in a van. I do. I live in a van. I quit my job. I got another job busing in a restaurant. I became a server. I started doing comedy. I began converting and moved into Vanessa here. And I've been steadily making time for my YouTube channel. And I did all of that in less than a year and a half. So, yeah, Vanessa's definitely had some mechanical issues that have left me stranded a few times. It's true. But I learned from those experiences, like I learned from everything else, right? I met a very friendly and helpful tow truck driver, very cool guy, very thankful I met him. I met a diesel mechanic who fixed Vanessa twice now already. And I learned the value of just being patient when I had to wait a whole day for that tow truck driver to arrive. Well, he was busy. He couldn't meet me that day. I had to wait the next day. So I just sat in Vanessa and chilled for a day, I learned to humble myself by asking friends and family for a place to stay because, well, my place to stay was in the shop, so that was another thing I had to do. And I had to finally spend my savings to actually get Vanessa fixed for an emergency. I would not. I was trying to find a way to work more and make more money to offset the cost, but just use your savings. You have it. That's what it's there for. So overall, the experience, it was stressful. Yes, even more so given that someone actually tried to break into Vanessa while I was in here. And that led me down a whole other train of thought on morality and being just and being kind when you have no reason to be. But that's another story for another time. Point is that I survived, I grew, and I moved forward with my experience. So upon reflecting on my radical lifestyle change and looking at everything that I've had to do to make this change possible, there's one regret I do have. And as I said earlier, I didn't realize it was going to be a regret at that time. I don't regret losing my full kitchen to cook and meal prep with to save money. right? I don't regret losing air conditioning to keep cool in the summer, especially since sleeping in a hot van, not ideal. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. You don't want to sleep in a hot van. Trust me, I've done it. I've done it. It sucks. Oh, it's not good. It's not good. But in spite of that, that's not my biggest regret. In the same way that I don't even regret losing a bathroom. Even though sometimes I do wake up in the middle of the night having to use the restroom, and I have to hold it in for a few hours because I have to do that before I can go inside the public restroom that I'm at to use the bathroom. That's just how that goes sometimes. But all that said, moving into Vanessa, it required substantial downsizing in my life. It really did. And I genuinely enjoyed the process. Like, I liked getting rid of stuff. But I got lost in letting go of anything that didn't have a functional purpose for me. Letting go of clothes, letting go of decorations, letting go of furniture. Those things really posed no challenge to me. But, it's my personal items that really took some thought and consideration. Like some sketchbooks that I've had since college, some gifts from my baptism when I got baptized last year, and the item that I now regret letting go, and that was a gift from my ex. That was a framed collage of the two of us. In retrospect, I clearly shouldn't have let it go. I get that now. Here I am quietly reflecting on my mistake, and I don't feel the same for her that I did before. I really don't. But her gift meant a lot to me. It meant a lot more to me at the time than I knew, right? That is, in my desire to move on to a new life, by moving into Vanessa, I threw her gift in the trash as a symbolic gesture of being over her, right? I'm over her, so I can let this thing go. It's me moving from my previous life to moving to my new life, going from an apartment to going to a van, going from an old way of life, an old relationship with her, to a new way of life, a new relationship, a new thing, new potential. But I failed to realize that her gift held a memory of a time that someone else actually really cared about me. And they expressed those feelings in a way that truly connected with me. That's what I didn't realize at the time. I can remember the memory and the feelings of the time when she gave it to me. And it was a very sweet gift. It really was. But it's not the same. I seldom ever get gifts from women. But her gift, Amy's gift, it was a tangible reminder that I mattered to her. That I truly mattered to someone else, even if only for the brief moment that she gave it to me. I know the entirety of my self-worth wasn't tied to it, but I think a parallel can be drawn between having AC in your car and not having AC in your car. And that's that you can live without it, but living life is so much better when you have it. And that's what that was. Life was better when I had that gift, and that's the irony of my biggest regret with moving into Vanessa, is that I was right about my decision from a functional perspective, but I was wrong about my feelings from a spiritual perspective, which leads me to ask, what other decisions have I made in this time that are actually wrong? What regrets do I have right now that I haven't realized yet? Will I be wrong about moving into Vanessa? Will I be wrong about pursuing being a comedian or becoming a server? Will I be wrong about this YouTube channel? If our biggest regrets come from the mistakes we've made, but have yet to realize, is it then truly possible to live a regret-free life? That is, are regrets an inevitable thing due to the growth and changes we'll undergo with age and experience, thus viewing our previous decisions with newfound wisdom we gained only because of the mistake in the first place? Which then begs the question, is living a regret-free life actually worth it? I don't have the answer, but it's good food for thought. Personally, I enjoy walking the path of life I've chosen, regrets and all, because every mistake and every unknown regret, that's just another aspect of myself I'm slowly discovering with time. And then how I put that newfound enlightenment of myself into use for others, well, that's another matter. But I believe in the power of love, and that power led me here, and it's leading me forward. So we'll see how it goes. That said, please Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more of my random thought patterns if you find it entertaining. Pass it on to someone if you believe they'll gain something from it or if they'll appreciate it. And of course, thank you and have a blessed day.